dealing with conspiracy theories and how this is benefiting black people.
Listen. Okay. I need to see it. Show him. .3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. Oh, hold on. Let me take my mask off. It could be more clear. 94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. Good evening, New Haven. This is Moving Target. I'm your host, Jake Kemp, and with me, as always, is my comrade, Remedy Sharif.
Peace, peace, peace.
And we are back after, I think the last time we were in the studio, it was the first week of like really shutting down.
Yeah, it's been a month clear.
It's been a month clear.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
And the last time we were here, we were talking about the fear virus.
Right.
And how just as important as it was getting the information, we need to be also getting the information on how to lessen the effects of stress.
Yes.
How to lessen the effects of anxiety.
Yes.
How to boost the immune system.
Yes.
And where are we today?
Wow, man. That's
right?
Great, yeah. Yeah, that's
and here we are a month later, and it's actually the priority is to lessen the stress, the anxiety, but even more so, boost the immune system.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you know, in peace to New Haven and surrounding communities and everybody everywhere, man. Love and light, and I'm thankful. I feel comfortable, bro. I'm able to sit here with you.
I know,
because I know your regimen.
Social distance,
and we're on it though.
No doubt.
And we're on it. And Justin, good to see you,
Justin,
man.
good to see you.
Everyone. Peace,
we got
everyone.
phone calls already. Let's just check out a phone call real quick. 94.3. Hello. All right. Well,
you almost had it. It was there.
It was there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we apologize if y'all want to call back. We are gonna open the phone lines real soon because, man, we missed speaking with the city.
Yes, indeed, man.
And I have to say, before we even go into anything, I don't know what your PSA is other than yo, stay home.
Just stay home.
Just stay your behind home.
Stay clean.
Straight up.
Cough in your arm, in the pit of your arm.
If you can.
If you can, just you know what the real PSA is. Take a minute, y'all. Let's just start moving. Let's try to move with intelligence.
Right.
No more than just, hey, I'm not, because I talked to somebody that's very close to me.
Yeah.
And he called me up and was like, hey, bro, you going to the barbershop or whatever, can I get your barber number? And I said, I'm not going to no barbershop. He said, I know you're not going to stay home. I know you're not letting them. I said, bro, do you understand what's going on out
Stop
here?
acting like the virus ain't real. We're going to get into that.
Woo.
We're going to get into the problem with conspiracy theories. We are going to get into how this crisis is actually pushing black people forward.
Right.
We're going to get into that. But before we do, man, I have to say this because we have not had the opportunity to be on air.
Right.
And it feels good to be on air because it gives a sense of normalcy.
Right.
Like, this is what we used to do.
I didn't even expect this. I didn't even expect this feeling coming in. When I came, I'm just like, wow, man,
yeah.
word.
But let me just salute. Let me salute. I want to say how grateful I am for the first responders, the essential workers. And I mean all of them.
Absolutely.
Yes, the doctors and the firemen and the nurses and nursing assistants, but I'm talking about people who handle admissions to the hospitals, the patient transporters, the CAF workers, the administrators, the home health care workers.
Right.
You know, I don't care who you are. If you put in your life at risk to contribute to the welfare of others and the well-being of others, salute to you.
And the people, you know, even now, you know, the people that's even keeping our mail system moving.
Absolutely.
I mean,
you packing up the trucks.
You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing. And mail's coming from all across the country. Who knows what touched what, who touched what. It just, and that's how it spreads, right? So it's like, wow,
and
man.
Listen, let me just say, every human being is essential. But you're not going to say, well, you know, I still gotta, I don't know. There's certain positions you can't put yourself next to the nurse and be like, see, I'm essential too.
Yeah, nah.
You essential.
Nah.
But you know, there's the ones that are at the front lines, and then there's ones that are helping those that are at the front line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Because I spoke to one person who, you know, who is doing what he got to do. He owns a restaurant. He's doing what he got to do, you know, but he did that in a conversation. He was like, you know, I'm one of those people on the front lines, you know, trying to make sure, you know, my family eats. I'm like, bruh, like, you are doing what you got to do, but you not with the sick people in the hospital.
Right. That's the front.
Yeah.
The front. Right. Straight up, man.
Right,
yeah, man.
Right.
Yes, sir.
There's certain people in war that wouldn't be like, well, I'm not doing what the Marines are doing. But I was there.
I mean, you sending out messages and you doing stuff behind the scenes.
Very important work.
But you not where them, and you're not for nothing. My sister was in the service, man, and she's a frontline worker over on right in the hill section.
Okay.
The substance abuse where they work at, you know, and it's crazy. But when she was in the war, when I was on the phone with her when she was in the service, and I'm talking to her, I haven't talked to her in months. Next thing I know, I hear this big boom explosion, and she's like, "Up, I gotta go." Click, and just hung up the phone.
Because she gotta go to combat.
The barracks right next to her got blown up. But however, she was a nurse in combat, meaning she can't pay attention to nothing that's happening around her. She's focusing literally while bullets is flying.
Oh, that's front lines.
That's front line.
And right now, and again, like if you a CAF worker or you a patient transporter in the hospital, you still front line.
You still front line.
You still in the hospital risking yourself every day.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so just salute to everybody, man.
Yes, sir.
Salute to everybody.
Yes,
and
sir.
I also want to send prayers out, love, light, and prayers for everybody who's been afflicted by the virus.
Yes, sir.
People who have been sick.
Yeah, man.
People who have lost people. This is the reason why I get very frustrated when somebody tries to tell me it's not real. You're not gonna tell me that.
This is devastating, man. This really is. It's really hard, and it's really devastating because literally people daily are losing their lives.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
People are ending up sick, losing their lives, and I thought about, as I heard different people that I know and that I've come in not contact as of late with, but I've been in contact, I've been around these people, real talk, and I'm like, yo, this person got sick from the crew. It's like, yo, you never, and then to think about where did I first come in contact, where did it first come from when I got it?
Right.
It's out of control.
It's out of control. And you know, this is something that's been coming up, and I don't know if we're being honest about this, but there's people who are actually trying to like hide their diagnosis of coronavirus.
Wow.
There's people
Wow,
who either might feel it, it might be like, you know, might have all the symptoms, but
Right.
still be like, it ain't probably that though.
Yeah.
I don't need to go. I don't need to get a check.
I'm gonna get some ginger ale.
This ain't the time.
This ain't the
I'm
time
gonna get some ginger ale.
for ginger ale and
Since that's
oatmeal baths.
always-
Nah, man.
I'm good. I'm gonna drink my elderberry and it's gonna go away.
Nah.
No, it's not.
Nah,
it's here now.
Nah.
Elderberry was for prevention.
For real.
It can help you during it.
Yeah.
But now you got to go through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not the time to be ashamed of it.
Right.
Go get checked if you feel something.
If you feeling it, and another thing is too, like you said, we talked about the fear virus, and this is why it's so important to not allow yourself to be in that state of fear,
Right.
because fear causes anxiety, can cause shorter breath. So now you wigging out, and if you just calm down, you might not
might
have
be
to.
good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might not.
Yeah.
So sometimes we could cause these things upon ourselves and get nervous, because on some realness, it happened to me, bro.
What you had a symptom and you're
I
like,
felt anxiety of it. I was thinking about amongst a lot of other things that was happening, thinking about my pops and everything. You know what I mean? Recently, I just started feeling overwhelmed with like this anxiety,
Right.
and then I started I felt like my chest was getting tight a little bit,
like, oh, that's
and
what
I
we're
said,
talking
yeah.
Can you just imagine though for a moment your
Right.
doctor tells you, listen, Raymond,
Right.
you have a potential diagnosis of this virus. Like you might catch this virus, and you like, doc, no. What are the symptoms? And he lays them out to you. You're like, okay, I'm good. I don't got those symptoms.
Right.
And he's like, but you might have light versions of those symptoms.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, I'm good though.
Right.
Okay, I'm good. And then he's like, but you also might show no symptoms and still have.
Where do I go from there?
What do you want me to do, Doc?
If that's not the fork road, which way to go, man?
I don't know.
And then they even said, I heard recently, they said that another symptom of it is headaches.
Oh, come on.
Yo, real talk.
Come on.
So I'm just like, yo, they say you start getting like, the other day, I had a light headache. Wouldn't you know?
Look at that.
And I'm like, man, go ahead.
Dude,
I'm like, go ahead, man. We not even gonna.
Then you gotta be nervous and be like, but am I asymptomatic? See, this is the reason why we really have to do our due diligence.
Absolutely.
To get our information.
Right.
But also, and be aware.
Right.
But also take care of yourself.
Right.
Be gentle with yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like seriously, allow the opportunity to stay inside to look within inside.
Right.
And find those things that need to change. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, but something that I wanted to see what you thought about this, man. What do you think? And I don't mean about the conspiracy theories themselves.
Right.
All right. I'm not talking about whether 5G caused this. I'm not trying to get into that because that's when it becomes this ugly debate.
Right.
But what do you think about conspiracies, period, existing and like people putting them out at this moment? Do you think it's insensitive? Do you think it's necessary? What do you think?
I just feel like if we do a little more due diligence in research, which you harped on me about a lot for years, but if we do that, there are conspiracies that are credible though, that have some validity to them, and you can almost say, well, I can see this, where it's going. Mm-hmm. So I think it's the intent. That's what I think. I think if you just a person that's just trying to put stuff out and say, hey, look, hey, whoa, and again, you're promoting part of that fear type of thing. But if your intent is like, look, I came across something, and let's look at this and check this out, and I ain't got no problem with it, man.
Right.
Put it out there.
Right.
Because especially knowing that the country or corporation that we live in, we have been lied to since we've been here.
Yeah.
We've been lied to.
This is an interesting fact that I found. 55% of the people of the population spend fewer than 15 seconds on reading an article.
Wow.
So that's half of everybody we know.
Wow.
That is actually looking at a headline and reading the article.
Right.
Let alone the extra step it takes to cite the article and follow up.
Right.
Right? And look at, well, what is the intent behind this author? Media literacy, right?
Right.
So half of us don't do any of that.
Wow.
Now think about what it was like back in the day when you found a piece of information out.
Right.
You couldn't just look it up on Google. You had to go to get a book.
Right.
And you had to read some pages.
Right.
Then you maybe had to go to the library to look up more stuff.
Right.
Right? All that work was put in to take in information, to understand a certain topic. That's how the responsibility on the person who was taking in information, that was on them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now it's like either you could look at the headline or you could just look at the source and be like, oh, that's real, and you share it, and then a bunch of other people see the headline and they run with it, and
Right.
nobody's really reading to find out some information.
Right, and that goes a long way, bro. I mean, you're 100% right, man, because a lot of time we see even with a lot of elected officials, you know, like you talk about media literacy, man. So they'll take something that somebody says in a statement, and they won't say what they said before that or what they said after that. They'll just put out that one little statement, and that creates a whole narrative on what that person might be thinking or feeling. And if you don't put the whole thing there, you never get it.
You're not going to get it. And see,
Never get
the problem I have right now with conspiracies, it's not about conspiracies. It's about the fact that you got people who are not doing their research,
Right,
and they're just kind of running with the wave,
right,
that are just putting up posts.
right,
And they're not really following up on those posts, the credibility of it.
right,
And what happens is people who don't want to hear any conspiracy, who just want to follow what's being told to them by mainstream media,
right,
they're putting those people in the box with the people who are actual teachers and
Right.
healers,
right,
right?
right,
And see, what ends up happening is, who are we dismissing when we do that? We could be dismissing the next Dr. Sebi.
right,
We could be dismissing the next, Bobby Hemmett,
right,
or Delbert Blair, or even Francis Wilson. Like these are teachers who we should have always respected.
Right.
We should have valued them. I mean, Phil Valentine's still alive, but all these other teachers who are no longer with us, even
Right.
somebody like a Dick Gregory,
Right.
we should have been valuing them while they were alive.
right. But I mean, you know, that speaks to, again, here in this corporation, this country that we live in, and we've been taught to always, like, you hear something again from the mainstream media or from white people, and you take it as being credible. Well, here it is that a brother or a man could tell you, the same exact thing and have done the research, and we don't give it the credit that it should, and to what you're saying.
So not too long ago, I mean, and I'm going back just a few hundred years, not even. Scientists and doctors intentionally created an environment where they convinced black people to limit, not forced, convinced. So we're talking mid 1900s. They convinced black people to limit their birth of children because there was a medical term that was being used to let them know that this is what could happen to your child, and it was called feeble-mindedness.
Right, right,
Real talk.
Right.
Medical term
right,
by a doctor who thought of the racist science of eugenics
right,
and made this a thing that was in the books. People believed it, but it wasn't just white people, it was black people too.
believed it.
But the thing was, somebody needed to be able to do their due diligence and research
Right,
beyond what the books were saying
right,
to find out what the truth was. Because the truth is, feeble-mindedness wasn't even a thing, and you can't even attach it to black people, clearly,
right,
right?
Right.
So that wasn't too long ago.
Right.
What makes you think those tactics? What makes you think the tactics that they used when they did the Tuskegee experiment?
right,
What makes you think those tactics? They
Right.
said it was a vaccine.
Right.
They weren't covert about it. They said straight up, this is
Right.
what it is.
Right.
What makes you think those tactics are gone?
right,
Why do you think they would be finished?
right,
So when somebody comes with some information, we need to be careful that we ourselves are not dismissing them because they weren't a regular on CNN,
right,
because they weren't an academic elite.
right,
Not everybody's gonna be that. That's not the education that's not even our education.
absolutely, absolutely,
They giving us that education.
absolutely,
Some people could use that education and then use it for their good and find out the truth and give it to the people and stay away from the establishment. Some people don't want to use that education at all. Some people get it in jail.
right,
But that doesn't necessarily mean that we have the right to dismiss them, especially not now.
I mean, if you intelligent, man, and that's that's why I was saying part of the PSA, y'all. Let's move intelligently. I mean, it's sad. It's sad that we can, and I understand what, you know, feeble meaning something weak, right?
Feeble is like something weak, inferior, lacking intellect and capability,
right,
of being able to take care of themselves. That was the science behind eugenics,
right?
Who, by the way, was created by Francis Galt, I think his name was, the cousin of Charles Darwin.
See.
This is real.
Yo, see,
this is all like, this ain't conspiracy. This is just what it is.
And you'll never be able to connect the dots unless you
do that research.
Yeah.
You do that study.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, and I say that because that's the problem I have with conspiracies, is because we now are trying to dismiss all conspiracies, and this is a time to ask some very serious questions.
Right.
Yes, we need to take precautions and take those information because this virus is real, but we also need to be asking some serious questions. For example, why right now, and not when they had the H1N1, why right now black people are the focus of this virus? Because you know we were the focus like if you look at the studies of H1N1, we were the same numbers, almost identical numbers. So now it's really bad now, and the narrative is, well, you know, black people really don't eat well. They don't really, you know, take care of them. Listen, I'm not saying that's not the truth on some cases, but it's kind of anecdotal because I know some people. To me, wellness is coming from black people.
Right.
Wellness is coming from a KT Arch degree, from Supernova Slime, from Queen Afua, Shakira Moore.
Right.
You know, wellness is coming from them.
Right.
And those are black people.
Right.
Always teaching what the ancestors taught.
Right. So
why is it now they chose this time when they're about to issue these cards and they're about to come with this whatever, Google and Apple teamed up to have that tracking thing? Why now did they use that narrative? I don't know if I'm comfortable with it.
Well, I mean, and looking at it like that is because like they're saying, they're about to usher in these new things. And if you can get, the more people you can get to co-sign to these things, because you got some black people that are going to sit back and they're going to say, the same ones that'll be dismissive of the ones that are bringing some good sound information, right? They'll just dismiss that. So now you got ones that are just going to sit up and say, look, they're ushering this new treatments of things that we need. Let's just go with the flow. Let's just take it and follow it. So they're making that the focal point, because generally the masses is generally, you know, we've been taught, man, the path to hell is wide and the path to the paradise is small. And because it said that more people are going to be on the path to hell. So when we watch, if we find ourselves doing what most and the masses of people are doing, then you could kind of figure that you're on the wrong path.
And I think one thing that I think is good about this, and we're gonna open up the phone lines in a moment, but one thing I think is really, a few things I think are beautiful about this whole crisis, is that it's pushing us, number one, to think about how do we own our own education for real. Like, our kids have already been doing it, and there are actually systems put in place for this to happen. How do we own our own education, and who do we have in our community that's a resource to do that? Right. Another thing is, if somebody's in your community offering that homeschooling, you're going to take them a little more serious. If somebody's in your community offering other streams of income, talking about generational wealth, talking about creating ways where you can benefit, you know, financially without having to rely on quote unquote a job. That person in your community talking about that, take them serious. Listen to them for a moment. Do your own research. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The person who's talking vegan and boosting your immune system, and talking about elderberry and sea moss and all that other stuff, you should have been taking that serious. Like, I saw Diddy and Van Jones kind of, you know, they were bigging it all up and all that, but where were you the last... Like, where were you?
So then I would ask, like, so where is our mind space at, bro? Why something has happened? Why we will be dismissive of these things? Why are we stuck in those places where, like you say, we should have been on it? Because it's not westernized. Yep.
I would rather, most people would rather listen to the doctor, who in some way, shape, or form is benefiting big pharma, and corporations, than the person who is right around the corner from them with the recipes for boosting your immune system, the herbs that are boosting your immune system. You would have rather that.
Right.
Right? Dr. Sebi wasn't really Dr. Sebi to people until Nipsey Hussle for a lot of people.
Right.
We're going to go to a phone call real quick. 94.3. Yeah, of course. Who we speaking with? I think they will. Absolutely. Oh no, you're making total sense. And to your point about the churches, unfortunately, I think the churches will reassemble. I think they. That's right. That's right. Ooh. Brother, let me just say that I'm glad you said it. we were. Oh, bruh. Oh, listen. It's in there, and listen, man. You're not the only one that takes heat. I'm probably gonna take heat for this episode because a lot of people want to separate. They don't want to talk about what you just mentioned. But the fact of the matter is, these are teachings that have been given not just from the spiritual books, but from master teachers in the black community for the past 100 years. And we are now entering what they want to call New World Order, this new tech era. We're entering a new tech era that life is just going to be different. So it is important for us to be able to, right now, at this very moment that we're living it, not wait for the documentary to turn on so we can say, oh, that was the truth. We have an opportunity, and this is why I think that this is going to push us forward. I feel right now we are going to be taking more precautions and looking at our health better. I feel like when the pastor says, listen, we're opening the doors up because the government said so, I do believe while the pastors might open it up, I believe the people are going to be like, hold up, though. I don't know if that's wise to do that. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like we're going to head there. As far as the Nation of Islam, that's a good point. Rem, if you want to speak to that, I never really considered the fact that they got their own doctors. Like, what are they really doing for the black community?
Love and light to you and your family, brother. I can't truly say, man. I haven't heard anything. It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
As far as I know, it's been pretty quiet. And I've often said, I've been discussed it a lot of times on a lot of different many levels of us that call ourselves Muslim, whether it be the Nation of Islam or the American Muslim Society or wherever you say, how you say you rolling. We've been quiet on a lot of levels of many different things. And right here is another example.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen nothing from the nation, which you should see. It should be visible.
Yeah.
If they was out moving and mobilizing with their doctors, with their teams of their own scientists and things that they got, because they got it.
They got it.
They got it, man.
Yeah.
So being that it's not visible, What kind of impact are we really making? And if there's anybody out there listening, again, that's connected to the Nation of Islam, or you have some information that you want to drop on this thing, please feel free.
They might call right now. We got another call.
I hope it's Brother Farrakhan.
94.3. Yes. Good evening. Oh, hey, Mom, what's up? This is Remedy's mother, just
Yes,
so y'all know.
indeed, the queen.
The queen. Yes.
Is one of the stations that I listen to. And they're talking, they are also consulting with, they're in the consultations with these big doctors, and they are doing their thing, but they're not being labeled as, oh, Muslim said this, or Muslim is doing that. Just to believe they are in and among the midst of everyone that is trying to do what we can do according to this coronavirus. Okay?
Yes.
That's number one.
Yes, ma'am.
Number two, when it comes down to the gentleman said something, and the question was asked, I want to say, will we, and I'm saying we as African Americans, will we respond when the person in the White House says we're opening up May the 28th, people are going back to business, and the churches are they going to go? I'm saying that every African American person of color, that they need to listen to their own intellect. If there is something out there that they're having a hard time, bring it under control, and you yourself can go and get it and bring it back to your family and be responsible for your loved ones dying, then you need to question your intelligence. We cannot listen to Trump, who only wants to open up this, the world. We're not meant to be, what do you say, what's the word, oh my God, quarantine.
Right.
We're not meant to be quarantined and not move out. We're our country, we've got to work. All he is about money. Is money being harmed? Where is this money going to when he says the businesses? How much is he going to get from it for his business? We need to wake up and see Trump for who he is. He can't even run the presidency, let alone step up and try to start doing what these scientists, these doctors, these people who have studied how diseases grow and what they do and how they do it.
That's right.
Nothing about it.
That's right.
We have some of us that will nod our heads at this man because what?
Now they head and bow down. And Queen Mother, not to.
And I want to say too, we need
She
to
would not hear
understand
me.
what's going on in our community.
Yeah.
Why is this virus hitting us so hard? If it wasn't spoke out on that there are a number of black people dying according to what we I want to say it was almost 70%.
Yeah.
According to what they say,
Hey.
think coronavirus is supposed to go to the black neighborhood?
I think there's a lot to unpack right there. Just to really look at why, and this is where I get kind of concerned in regards to when people start to now look at why are black people being affected. I really hope that we don't start trying to promote this narrative that we inherently have these habits that might be causing our health to fail. And
Exactly.
do you see what I'm saying? It's a wrong narrative to have.
No, if we are not on people's right, with our, I'm going to say it, with our white counterparts, when we go to work, we have good health insurance, like they do.
Mm-hmm.
When we go to the doctors, we have good doctors that are looking out for us, like they do for theirs. When, as a matter of fact, we have a lot of doctors that we can go to that are our color.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, if we want to look at it, we're not being treated in the same fashion. How come our health is so poor? Why are we walking around with so many diseases and things?
Boom. Salam alaikum. We gotta, yes, man. So we, Queen Mother, we about to name the show after you. We gonna bring you back on.
We appreciate you, Bob.
We love you and we appreciate you.
We love you. All right.
Yes,
no,
man.
thank you. All right. Yo, it's so funny because if people saw us in the studio right now, I'm looking at Rem like, no, you gonna tell her it's time's up.
Yeah,
He like, no, you gotta tell her. She don't hear me. I'm like, no, bruh. You tell her, wrap it up.
Mama get going, man. Mama
But she was
get going.
speaking some truth.
Yes,
and
sir.
she was speaking all truth. And one of the things that I want people to really look at is follow the money. Honestly, like there is money being made
Right.
off of the vaccine,
Right.
off of the technology. No, I'm not talking about whether 5G causes it or not, you know,
Right.
but the fact is that when we come out of this crisis, we are walking into a world full of 5G, a country full of 5G. When you think about the technology and you study the technology of 5G,
Right.
it's not just a small little upgrade from 4G. No, there's completely different ways of interacting and living.
So I mean, so real quick, just go ahead and tell people some of the adverse effects of 5G, so they understand we're not just talking about.
Well, I mean, listen, when it comes to the effects, I'm not even going to touch on that because that becomes now the whole debate of like, oh, 5G doesn't cause this. I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm only talking about the difference in how we will exist because of technology.
Right.
And 5G makes it much different.
Right.
But there's opportunity here.
Right.
For us to really create solutions.
Right.
That's the thing.
Right.
It's not just to talk about what we're gonna do and be fearful. It's really to create the solutions, and we have the opportunity to do that. You see what I'm saying? What I just want to make sure is that you're not the individual who laughs at somebody who doesn't look like the person on CNN, but is
Right.
giving you some vital information and
Right.
is a healer,
Right.
is a teacher.
Right.
They're out there. Diddy was talking about we need to go back to the ancestors and all that. Like, yeah, bruh, you should have done that back in the shiny suit era.
Yeah, man.
Not until we got 70% of black folk being affected by this virus.
Right.
You know, listen, it's different because it's contagious, so we can't relate that to other issues that we've had.
Right.
So that's a difference here.
Right.
But it still comes down to teachings that have been coming from people that you have dismissed
Right.
because they weren't academic elites. Let's go to another caller. 94.3.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going? Who's this?
Hi, Barbara Fair.
Oh, what's up, Mother Fair? Yes.
Yes, man.
Matter of fact, you are great. I'm glad you called because you know we gotta hear about what's going on in the prisons when it comes to this COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, we just had sermon in front of the governor's mansion this afternoon.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And one of my things that I was saying was, you know, with all the Christians that are so upset about the crucifix that happened thousands of years ago, and yet we're not outraged about our young men being crucified today, right around us. And I'm talking about the young men from Whaley Avenue and Carl Robinson who got sent to Northern, aka the dungeon, only because they protested the conditions they were living under. So to me, they're being crucified, and where's all the Christians?
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
But you know, it is what it is with our people.
But we gonna keep fighting.
Yeah. So anyway, what I've been finding interesting about this
Yes.
what's going on with this virus.
Mm-hmm.
And if you check it out, you'll see that nations dominated by black people, like Mali, Nigeria, Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
Africa, places like that.
Very low.
To no disease at all.
Absolutely.
Why is it taking us out in America?
And this is and that's, see, these are the questions.
Right.
You see, Mother Fair poses a question. There's somebody out there who didn't go to Harvard, but they got their head in the books studying this and can give her an answer. So is she gonna laugh them off? No.
Right.
She's gonna listen.
Right.
Because first I'm gonna do my research. I'm not gonna get, as soon as the media say something, I'm running with it like it's gospel.
Right.
So I have to check this out. So I look at the map and I'm saying, well, this is not a black and brown thing, because look at all these black nations that they hardly have any disease.
And now all of a sudden Bill Gates, who, by the way, took a trip with Jay-Z from some years ago talking about vaccines in Africa, now all of a sudden, yeah.
You know, it's more wealth being built.
Yes.
than vaccines.
Yes.
Because once you have the nation so afraid to even walk out their front door and they say they have a vaccine, everybody gonna run and pull their sleeves up, roll them up like every other vaccine without asking any questions. And I think that has a major role in why our bodies don't have the same resistance as in these African countries.
Yeah.
Right.
All of this. You look at the chart, they got very little disease. But here in America, with this Western medicine, all these vaccines that they tell us to get, I think that's why our immune system is weakened.
Well, Mother Fair,
That's a major factor.
thank you so much for
Don't make it about drinking and smoking.
Right.
It's about a whole lot more than that.
yes, thank you so much for calling in. All right.
Love and light to you and the family. Hey, yo, and see, that's part of what I'm talking about, man, because it seems like it's a black thing when it comes down to us here in America.
Yeah, and
You-
why didn't they do it in H1N1?
You know?
Why
Right.
now are they making this the narrative? You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
I'm gonna tell you right now, look, I know what the stereotype has been
Right.
of fried chicken and all this
Right.
other stuff, but I don't know, man. Maybe it's because of my circle, but I'm seeing more black people becoming more health conscious.
Right.
I'm not. It's an opportunity for us to now lean into boosting our immune system,
Right.
you know. But at the
Right.
same time, let's make sure that we're not, you know, echoing that same narrative. Well, you know, black people don't eat well. You know, black people don't do this. Black
Right.
people, it's not good.
Right.
It's not good. There's an issue we have that we have to deal with, but we were dealing with it before. Now, let's get everybody on board.
I think it's a double. I think it's like it's hitting from both sides, because I know for sure that you and we have allowed ourselves to be around more people that are conscious minded in that way.
Mhm.
So that could kind of obscure our view of what the picture is, because we're around more people that are living in that manner. So that's what we're seeing more of. But we're still out here like, you know,
Yeah.
crazy.
So I just want to, Justin just gave me something here. Africans in southern China's largest city say they have become targets of suspicion and subjected to forced evictions, arbitrary quarantines, and mass coronavirus testing as the country steps up its fight against imported infections. What site is this, Just, that you got this from?
Let me check.
See, that's my thing. I don't just take it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I got to read the whole article.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was a nice little large headline.
This is from the website called RFI.
RFI.
Yeah. I don't know if they're credible, but I know I've seen videos on Instagram depicting like that type of abuse towards black people in China.
See, and this is the reason why it was important for me to bring up when they convinced us to believe the whole feeble-mindedness mess.
Right.
You know, because we got to remember that was mainstream media at that time.
Right.
Mainstream media is owned by corporations. You
Right.
follow the money.
Right.
So they're going to push a certain story.
Right.
Some of it might be true, but not all of it.
Right.
It wasn't too long ago that we saw COINTELPRO or CIA Contra bringing drugs into our neighborhood. Don't take it all as gospel.
Right. But truth be told, they would be saying today that that's a conspiracy. Let's shout out.
What's a conspiracy?
Seeing it, Contra. You
But
know,
no, they can't.
Right.
Bill
Right.
Clinton apologized for
Right
it.
now, but now you know, now, but see, what I'm saying is like, if that was happening now, they'd be like, "Oh, this is a conspiracy. The government's dropping drugs in our community and yada yada yada."
What the government wouldn't do that to us? Why not?
Yeah, man.
So you know, before we wrap, and we're gonna continue this conversation because I still have to touch on this RZA versus Premier for the B-Side podcast. So we'll touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
But before we wrap, man, I just want to make it clear to everybody, man. You know, support those that are in your community who are solutions for this time right now.
Right.
There are homeschoolers, there are people that will homeschool your kids, there are healers, there are teachers, Reiki healers, like all of that stuff is completely real. It's not just pseudoscience.
Right.
Look it up.
Right.
But when you start to dismiss it and go to the Western doctor over that, then we know where you stand.
And it really would be good if you go to Moving Target, our podcast, and subscribe on YouTube.
Get some more information on this.
Get some more information, and definitely the Moving Target on Facebook.
Yes.
Go there, we can put some things up.
Moving Target podcast.
The ones that do the hard work for us, for real, they'll put some stuff up.
So we're going to wrap it up right now. Please join us on our YouTube, Moving Target podcast. We're going to continue this conversation right now, well, starting at 8 o'clock. All right? 94.3 WYBC. This is Moving Target.
Peace.
Woo!
That was my bad. I should have given you the CNN one, but I clicked the first one because I just remembered about it.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right.